Why?
Are we ready?
It's 5-5-2-2. We are continuing to 5.
I think we're 5-3.
5.
5-5. Go. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 5, Text number 3. Yeva Maise Kutasavadharta.
Yeva Mahise Krita Sauradharta.
Tadesute Hambaravadikeshu.
Jayesh Tadeham Bhagavartikeshu.
Griheshu Jayad Madharatmatsu.
Griheshu Jayat Madhatimasu.
Viti Yukai Yavat Arte.
Nati Yuktaya Vadhartam Shru.
Neva Maise Kutasavadharta.
Yeva Mahishe Krita Sauradharta.
Ganeshu Deham Bhagavartikeshu.
Janeshu Deham Bhagavartikeshu.
Griheshu Jayad Madharatmatsu.
Griheshu Jayat Madhatimasu.
Priti Yuktaya
Napriti Yuktaya Vadhartam Shru. Yeva Mahishe Krita Sauradharta.
Yeva Mahishe
Krita Sauradharta. Yava Mahishe Krita Sauradharta. Yeva Mahishe Krita Sauradharta. Jane Sudeham Haravartikesu. Janeshu Deham Haravartikesu. Grihesu Jayat Mazarati Matsau. Grihesu Jayat Mazarati Matsau. Yukta Yavadat Raso Chaloke. Nabriti Yukta Yavadat Chaloke. Yeva Mahishe Krita Sauradharta. Janeshu Deham Bhagavartikeshu. Grihesu Jayat Madhatimasu. Napriti Yuktaya Vadhartam Shaloke.
Yea, you want to? Yea, those who, Va, or Mai, unto me, Ishe, the Supreme Personality of Godhead,
The Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Kritasavada, Artha, very eager to develop love,
Very eager to develop love.
in a relationship of Dasya, Sakya, Vatsalya, or Madhurya.
In a relationship of Dasya, Sakhya, Vatsalya, or Madhurya.
Janesu, to people. Dehambara Vartikeshu, who are interested only in maintaining the body,
Who are interested only in maintaining the body.
not in spiritual salvation.
Not in spiritual salvation.
Griheshu,
Griheshu,
to the home.
to the home.
Jaya,
Jaya,
wife. Atmaja, children. Rati, wealth or friends. Matsu, consisting of. Not. Priti Yukta, very attached. Yavad Artha, who live by collecting only as much as required. Cha, Loke, in the material world. Translation of purport. Those who are interested in reviving Krishna consciousness and increasing their love of Godhead do not like to do anything that is not related to Krishna. They are not interested in mingling with people who are busy maintaining their bodies, eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. They are not attached to their homes, although they may be householders, nor are they attached to wives, children, friends, or wealth. At the same time, they are not indifferent to the execution of their duties. Such people are interested in collecting only enough money to keep the body and soul together. Purport. Whether he is an impersonalist or a devotee, one who is actually interested in advancing spiritually should not mingle with those who are simply interested in maintaining the body by means of the so-called advancement of civilization. Those who are interested in spiritual life should not be attached to homely comforts in the company of wife, children, friends, and so forth. Even if one is a grihastha and has to earn his livelihood, he should be satisfied by collecting only enough money to maintain the body and soul together. One should not have more than that or less than that, as indicated herein. A householder should endeavor to earn money for the execution of bhakti yoga. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Padasevam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasanam, Sakyavatmanam, Vedanam. A householder should lead such a life that he gets full opportunity to hear and chant. He should worship the deity at home, observe festivals, invite friends in, and give them prasad. A householder should earn money for this purpose, not for sense gratification. Om Gyan Tamanandasya Gyanandana Salakaya Chakshuru Yat Kripadaram Mande Sriganandana Vajikapatyubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Anubhavane Vaishnavebhyo Namaha. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktivedanta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So this is continuing the teachings of Lord Rishabh. Yes. So he starts out here, those who are interested in reviving Krishna consciousness and increasing their love of God do not like to do anything that is not related to Krishna. No anukayashi sankalpa pratikayashi rakshishi titi visvasha gokrute. This is one of the aspects of surrender. Accepting only that which is favorable to Krishna consciousness. And Prabhupada has set up this society so nicely. We do so many things. We start off in the morning, getting up early, so we can go to Mangalarti. And there we glorify Krishna. So nice. What a nice way to start. Therefore it's called Mangalarti, auspicious. There's many artis, but Mangalarti is the most auspicious. Because here we're rising early, we're chanting the names of Krishna. Very auspicious. Great way to start the day. And then of course we chant our japa. Another also very auspicious. He said, I just received this book of Rupa Goswami. Very nice. Names of Krishna. And Rupa Goswami, he says, I do not know how much nectar there is in the two syllables Krishna. When the holy name enters into the courtyard of my heart, it stops the activities of my mind. Wouldn't that be nice? Not such activities of the mind. And I experience unlimited happiness. When the activities of the mind stop and your heart is filled with the desire to serve Krishna. How wonderful that would be. So that's the path that Srila Prabhupada has placed us on. Yes. Engaging in activities that are auspicious, favorable activities. And then now we have Srimad Bhagavatam class. And then we're going to have prasadam.
Yes.
And then we have a devotional service. So Prabhupada has set it up so nicely, so that if we're sincere and serious, we could advance nicely in Krishna consciousness. And so many other things. We have so many books that are very auspicious for our growth in Krishna consciousness. So accepting things are favorable for devotional service is very important. That's a very important aspect of surrender to Krishna. And then on the other side, we have to reject that which is unfavorable for devotional service. So many things. This is Maya's kingdom. There's a lot of things we got to reject. A lot of things we have to reject. Yeah. Like there was one devotee who, I might have said this here before, but there was one devotee who said to Prabhupada, Prabhupada, this movement it's such a rich movement. It's such a divine movement. But if we can just have 3 regular principles instead of 4 regular principles, this movement would grow so much more. And he said if we could just have no gambling, no intoxication, and no meat eating, stop there. This movement would grow so much. And Prabhupada said, no. He said, I'm not interested in having many flickering stars. If I could just get one glowing moon, that'll be the success of society. But this devotee kept on, Prabhupada, it would really grow. He's really trying to push Prabhupada. And Prabhupada said, if that's what you want, then start your own movement. But he wouldn't compromise. And even the other yoga groups, they were so impressed with Prabhupada because Prabhupada was just preaching pure Krishna consciousness, surrender to God. None of them did that. It was all about yoga, nothing about Krishna, nothing about God. They just wanted to, increase their name, their fame, make some money on the side. No purity. So they were very impressed that Prabhupada, he created such a big movement, preaching pure God consciousness, pure Krishna consciousness. Only Prabhupada could do that. Purity is the force. So he had that purity. So there's so many, there's so many things we have to reject, so many things we have to accept. And we have to do this carefully. And Prabhupada said, if you want to advance very quickly in Krishna consciousness, then follow all the rules and regulations, the big ones and the small ones. Very important. We've been given so many rules. But why? So we could reach the goal. Krishna consciousness. It's like here in America, there's so many rules on the road. Right? So many rules, stop signs, the lights, and don't do this, don't do that. Why? So we can get to where we want to go safely. Mm-hmm. Speed limits and so many things. If people drive recklessly, imagine there's no rule. Imagine there was no rules on the road. It would be chaos. For some countries kind of like it, like India's a little bit. So rules are good because they help us. They help us to reach the destination that we're trying to reach. And if we reach the destination, then we're going to be very happy that we followed all the rules. So accepting things favorable, rejecting things that are unfavorable, accepting Krishna as our protector. Krishna will protect us. Rakhe Krishna, Morike, More Krishna, Rakhe. If Krishna wants to protect us, no one can kill us. Just like Prahlad Maharaj, he was, this demon, Hiranyakasipu, everybody was afraid of him, but not Prahlad. Prahlad had no fear. No fear. Why? Because he had his best friend, the controller of everything, the cause of all causes, as his protector. It's good to have God as your best friend. Big advantage. So that was Prahlad Maharaj's situation. He had Krishna protecting him. And Krishna will also maintain us. He's given us so many nice things. So he's maintaining. Not only is he maintaining the devotees, he's maintaining everyone. Just like there's so many insects and birds and animals, so many 8,400,000. Everybody's getting fed. Everybody's been taken care of by the mercy of Krishna. And then to think oneself meek and humble. This is the tough one. That's the difficult. To be humble. In Kali Yuga, it's so difficult. We have these big false egos. Someone says anything that even slightly offends us, we become so disturbed, get upset. But if we hear nicely, if we hear the holy names nicely, then that alone will help us to be humble. Because if we hear nicely the holy name, we'll understand how great Krishna is. If we hear the Vedas nicely, we'll understand how great Krishna is and how small we are. We're very small. Krishna is so great. The greatness of Krishna cannot even come close to being estimated. He's called Satya Sankalpa. That whatever he wants just happens by his desire. This is Krishna. So great. Just by his desire, millions of universes are manifesting. And they're all being maintained nicely. So this is Krishna. The glories of Krishna cannot be spoken. Even the Ananta Shesh has so many mouths, has been speaking the glories of Krishna for how long? Eternally. And there's no end to the glories of Krishna. Now you talk about your glories, our glories. Mm-hmm. Well, you don't go on too long. Not very long. But Krishna goes on and on and on. He's wonderful. Therefore, there's a chapter in the Krishna book, Wonderful Krishna, Srimad Bhagavatam. Krishna's wonderful. And then the last one is full surrender. Got to fully surrender. That means just accepting that we're the sons of Krishna. We're part and parcel, and we're meant to serve Krishna, whatever he wants. It's like Prabhupada said, we should be yes men to Krishna, whatever he wants. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Like Prabhupada said, we should practice Krishna consciousness as if in military discipline. Military discipline is very, very rigid, very strict. And therefore, Prabhupada, he said that we should be very regulated, on time. With everything that we do, it should be on time. Krishna's pleased with that. If we're strict and regulated. And this way we could advance. And another quick way to help us advance in Krishna consciousness is serving the devotees, giving the mercy of the devotees. There's one devotee, his name is Kalidas, one of my favorite characters in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. He was such a humble devotee. He would get the remnants of all the devotees. Somehow he would get the remnants. It's said that there's three things that are very powerful in this world. The remnants of the devotees, the dust from the feet of the devotees, and the water that has washed the feet of the devotees. These things are very powerful. So Kalidas was expert. There was one devotee, Jadu Thakur, who was a Sudra, but he was a great devotee. And Kalidas, he was a Brahmana, but he knew that Jadu Thakur was a great devotee. So he went to his home. And they were having Krishna Katha. And they were so happy having Krishna Katha. It's such a nice thing just to discuss Krishna Katha, especially when you got two pure devotees. Just like when Prabhupada came together with his Krishnadas Babaji, Prabhupada's dear friend. They would get together and the devotees were just amazed just to see the love exchange, the happiness, and discussing Krishna and just talking Krishna consciousness. So they were also very happy just discussing Krishna, associating with one another. And he brought some mangoes for Jadu Thakur, Kalidas did. He said, here's some mangoes for you. I want to give. He said, thank you so much. Now, so then he left, and then they took the mangoes. They honored the mangoes, they offered them to Krishna, they honored, and then they threw like they do, they threw them out the window, out in the ditch. And in Kalidas, he went there and he got the mangoes. And he was just relishing the remnants of the pure devotees. So this was his regular program. He would just somehow beg, borrow, or steal, get the remnants of the devotees. So he was such a special devotee. Lord Chaitanya, he would go to the temple, the Jagannath temple, and there was a place where he would wash his feet. And nobody would be able to get his water that washed his feet. He was strict about that. He would tell Govinda, don't let anybody. But then Kalidas shows up. And his feet are being washed, and Kalidas is just, he gets one. And Lord Chaitanya is watching. He gets one palmful, goes down and gets another one, goes down and gets another one, and then Lord Chaitanya says, all right, that's enough. He didn't let anybody else, but he knew the purity, the sincerity of Kalidas. And then in Lord Chaitanya, he went home and he honored Prasad. And Kalidas showed up. And also Lord Chaitanya wouldn't let anybody take his remnants. But he told Govinda, give him the remnants, go. He was a very special devotee, Kalidas. Always wanting to get the mercy of Krishna. So this is another way to get the mercy of Krishna. We have to serve the devotees. get the remnants of the devotees, serve the devotee. There's one pastime of a devotee who, Naguna Swami, amazing devotee, has been preaching in Poland, preaching all around the world, spreading the glories of the holy name. He was in South Africa, and one girl, maybe 10 years old, it was the Sunday feast, and he was honoring Prashad. And she came to me and said, Maharaj, I saw Lord Nrsimhadev. He said, oh, that's nice. Honoring Prashad. And she came back about 5 minutes later. Maharaj, I saw Lord Nrsimhadev. Oh, nice. Yeah, we all see Lord Nrsimhadev. I mean, the temple is there. Murti. Lord Nrsimhadev. Then there's pictures with Lord Nrsimhadev. And then she came again. Oh, he was so beautiful. I saw Lord Nrsimhadev. And he was like, well, this girl's kind of interesting. And then he knows the father of this girl. And he went to the father and said, yeah, your daughter's having some amazing experiences with Lord Nrsimhadev. She keeps on telling me she saw Lord Nrsimhadev. And he said, yeah, well, let me tell you what happened. She was playing out in our area there with some neighbors. It was lunchtime, and I called her for lunch, and she ran across the street, and she got hit by a car, went flying. And I was like, oh my God. And I went running to help her. And I tried to jump a fence. I didn't make it all the way. And I broke my leg. And then the ambulance comes, and they take her, and they take me. And she's laying on the bed, and she's unconscious. And then she comes to. And the doctor says, you feel any pain? She said, no, no pain. But you know what happened? Lord Nrsimhadev, he caught me. And then she felt there was some marks. And there's the nails of Lord Nrsimhadev, where he had touched her and caught her. And some devotees are there and like, whoa. She got hit pretty hard. She went flying. No injury at all, except for these marks of Lord Nrsimhadev. And then she heard about her father, that he had tried to come to her and help her, and didn't quite make it over the fence and broke his leg. And she told him, you should have been thinking of Lord Nrsimhadev. So when Maharaj heard that, he was like, wow, now I understand. She actually saw Lord Nrsimhadev. So then he went to where she was sitting, and when she was looking away, he got some of her remnants. Because he could understand she's not an ordinary devotee. So here you have a big Swami, Prabhupada, disciple, guru, and he's getting the remnants of this little girl who's seen Lord Nrsimhadev. So, yes, Krishna protects his devotees. And he gives mercy to his devotees, like Lord Chaitanya giving mercy to Kalidas. So he gives so much mercy. Lord Chaitanya is Namo Mahavaranyaya Krishna Prema Vidayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Gaura Tache Nama. That he is the most munificent incarnation of Krishna, because he's freely giving the holy name of Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. So this is the process in this age for purification. It's not easy to understand Krishna. Very difficult. Nobody can understand Krishna fully. Yatashi Krishna Namadi Nama Vemrani Sevan Mukhi Jivana Swayameva Sprachita. That one cannot understand Krishna with one's blunt material senses. But when Krishna becomes pleased with us by our service, he reveals himself. This is Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's favorite verse. He would quite often quote this verse. Can't understand. People are trying to understand God to some degree, but nobody can understand. We can understand Krishna to some degree. In Bhagavad Gita, he gives us some understanding of himself. There's 584 verses in the Bhagavad Gita. There's one by Dhritarashtra, the first verse. And then there's many by Arjuna and Sanjay. But Krishna, he spoke the Bhagavad Gita, and only a few of the verses in the Bhagavad Gita is where he's speaking about the battle. Yeah, encouraging Krishna and Arjuna in the battle. Just a few. All the rest is how to be a good devotee and go back to God. That's the essence of the Bhagavad Gita. How to become a devotee and go back to God. And Arjuna was the fortunate one to receive them. And we're also receiving the message. Yeah. There's one person who said he felt it very unfortunate that he wasn't there when Krishna was there speaking Bhagavad Gita. And Prabhupada said, no, you read Bhagavad Gita, it's just like, it's being spoken to you. Just like it's being spoken. But Arjuna was very fortunate. He got to hear the words. And I was just reading recently in one book by Shiva Ramswami. He said the perfection of the ears is to hear the words of Krishna. To hear the singing of Krishna. Imagine hearing Krishna sing. He's probably got the best voice. I'm sure he's got the best voice. He got the best of everything. To hear the flute of Krishna, the flute of Krishna would drive the gopis nuts. Just imagine, everybody likes music, but to hear the flute playing of Krishna, that's the perfection of the ears. And then to hear the ankle bells and the bracelets of Krishna. This is described as the perfection of the ears. So we're fortunate we're able to hear Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita and also hear the words of Lord Rishabh. And so many, the Srimad Bhagavatam, and hearing so much nectar from so many incarnations of Krishna and great devotees of Krishna. It's just like an ocean of nectar. So continuing in this verse, they are not interested in mingling with people who are busy in maintaining their bodies, eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. So devotees, they're not so much interested in this. It's like Prabhupada, we heard recently. Prabhupada, he said, I was always praying to Krishna to stop eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. He said he was praying to Krishna. So at the end of his life, when he was leaving this world, he said, well, I'd already stopped eating and sleeping, mating, and now I'm liberated. I said, now I'm liberated. Because he couldn't sleep. He wasn't eating anything. He'd already, mating and defending that. So when Prabhupada is described that when he would go to take rest, he would tell his servant, now I'm going to waste time. Does anybody feel that way before you take rest? You feel that way? Yeah. I don't know. You feel like that now? Oh, okay, got some advanced devotees, just special souls here. So generally, when people would lay down to take rest, they're thinking, finally, snooze time. And so there was one devotee, yeah, had a friend at school, and this friend, when he didn't have an exam coming up, he would sleep all day long. And this devotee asked, "How could you sleep all day long?" He said, "Yeah, no problem. I don't have any exam, nothing to do, just sleep." What a waste, huh? What a waste of the human form of life. And the Krishna has given so much information. We should be awake to it. We should be awake to it. We should want to wake up. Pretty much people are sleeping in the material world. So these books are meant to help us wake up and understand reality. We've been sleeping long enough. Right? We came awake when we started reading Prabhupada's books. Or now we're kind of coming awake. We began our waking period when we read Prabhupada's books, but now we want to become fully awake, fully Krishna conscious. And what is that? Man-mana bhavaman. Always think of me. Become my devotee. Worship me and offer your homage. Thus you'll come to me without fail. I promise you this because you're my very dear friend. So this is wide awake. There's some people that are kind of like sometimes in class, starting to get a little sleepy. But when we're wide awake, that means we're fully Krishna conscious. And our only interest is in the interest of Krishna. In one purport, Prabhupada says that if one hears with rapt attention the Srimad Bhagavatam, then one will be able to see Krishna on every page. But to hear with rapt attention, one has to be pure in mind. To be pure in mind, one has to be pure in action. To be pure in action, one has to be pure in eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. But if one is able to hear in this way, one can see Krishna on every page. So hearing with rapt attention is dependent on pure eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. Very interesting. Huh? Mm-hmm. So when we're eating, we're not just chowing down like the karmas do. No, it's savor. I don't know of anybody in the world that has so much respect for prasad as Vaisesika. So many prayers they chant, isn't it? Before prasad. How many? We got the Sarira Vijaya, then the Prasadi Sarvadukanam. And then there's how many more? There's a whole bunch more, right?
At least 5 minutes more.
5 minutes! That's amazing. To take prasad. Who else does that? It's amazing. Such respect for prasad. Prasad, Prabhupada said this movement is kitchen religion. Mm-hmm. Kitchen religion. And this is so many devotees came because of prasad. And Prabhupada was talking about this, and he said, he was talking about you too, right? You came because of prasad. Yes, Prabhupada. I also. You also? Yes, Prabhupada. I also came. You? Yeah, me also. Prabhupada is a secret weapon. And Prabhupada himself, he was cooking prasadam, giving it out in 26th Second Avenue to these homeless people, drug dealers, just just the lowest class. And imagine that, Prabhupada. One time a devotee asked Prabhupada, who's the best cook in ISKCON, Prabhupada? And Prabhupada said, I am. Prabhupada was so good. He was teaching everybody how. It's amazing. So eating, sleeping. Yeah, we sleep. We shouldn't sleep too much. We don't need to sleep that much. I mean, it's amazing. I was reading about Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. His disciples, they got 4 hours. 4 hours. They probably got some extra here and there, but some of them strictly did that. 4 hours. And there's some devotees, Raghunath Das Goswami, some of the 6 Goswami, they would sleep 2. And sometimes Prabhupada mentioned they would forget to sleep. Oh, I forgot to sleep last night. So there's some very great souls. They're just beyond. Raghunath Das Goswami would just eat a little buttermilk. Yeah. Practically nothing. Just to keep the body and soul together. And he would live a long life. He lived a long life. So eating, sleeping, mating. Mating, of course, was only in married life. And then only to have a child. So that's and such a person, Prabhupada said, he's a brahmachari grihastha. And actually it's more difficult because sex desire is there, but you're there with the wife, the sex desire comes up, you're seeing, so that desire may come up. With brahmachari, you don't see. You don't see. Out of sight, out of mind. In sight, in mind. So it's more difficult. So they're more glorified. They're more, saintly in one sense because it's there, but they tolerate. And defending. We accept Krishna. Krishna will protect us. So hearing with rapt attention, very important. Hearing our japa with rapt attention. You didn't hear a couple of mantras, back up, do it, let's try it again. You read a page, nothing sunk in, you read it, then read it again. Let's try to get it to sink in. We're trying to get the transcendental vibration to sink in. As Vaisesika Guru says, keep this transcendental vibration going. Right? Keep it going. Gotta keep it, and then eventually it'll sink in, and it'll just be Krishna. Krishna, Krishna in our mind, in our heart, just Krishna. We let other garbage in, then it makes it more difficult. Trying to avoid the garbage. Yeah. And then the last sentence here, or one of the last sentences, they are not attached to their homes, although they may be householders. Lord Chaitanya was speaking to Raghunath Das Goswami. He said that act like you're attached. Just act like you're attached. And the parents won't be so worried about your leaving. So then when he got that, then he started acting like he was before he heard about it, just acting normally, like a child, like a son. But then they let the guard down, he was able to escape. So the home is temporary. People get these nice homes, they're very attached to their homes, but it's all temporary. The wife, the children, it's all temporary. But people become very attached. What we should be very attached to is Krishna. He's not temporary. Everything else is temporary. The home, the car, the wife, children, the mother, the father. Everybody's had so many mothers and fathers and wives and homes. And here we are again, struggling in the material world. So better become very attached to Krishna and become detached to everything else. Become attached to Krishna and Krishna's devotees and detached to everything else. Lord Chaitanya came to teach that. Vairagya is detachment. Vidya, knowledge. Vairagya Vidya, Nija Bhakti Yoga, and love for Krishna. This is the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, giving us so many instructions on how to be detached to all the nonsense in this world and how to be attached to Krishna, Krishna's devotees, and to develop this love for Krishna. So any questions or comments or reflections?
So Prabhuji, you mentioned about prasadam. So in online, I just checked now. So in an open forum, one person is asking, so my wife and kid are leaving for India for a month. I will be all by myself for the first time in decades. I'm so excited. So, so he's saying, suggest all I can do during that time. Bring it on. I am 40s in the 40s living in Bay Area. So the topmost comment where 252 people liked. And now, right now, it is much more. So they're saying after 2 days you will be starving and calling your wife back. First 2 days, freeze has food. Then you will go to ISKCON for meals.
Yeah, we had Radhavala. He sends out prasadam all over the Bay Area. You made that comment?
Yeah. So
Very
the person
funny.
who commented, his name is Raghunath Parthasarathi.
Yeah, we have I wonder how many plates he sends out every day. Anybody have any idea?
Previously, it used to be 150. Now it is reduced.
Huh?
Previously, when he started, like after a few months, it was around 100 to 150.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
100, 250.
No, 100 to 150.
Oh, 100 to 150. Wow, that's a lot. That's good. Is he online now, this person?
No, this is through online in a group.
Oh.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's doing great service. Yeah.
How to develop detachment from eating food.
I don't think you don't have to worry about that.
I mean,
People with bellies, they're the one that have to look at it.
I have a tendency to eat when there's sweets, a lot of sweets, and then I sleep more.
Wait. Yeah, the tongue is the most difficult. It's amazing. And the most difficult of all the senses is the tongue. You'd think it'd be the mind, right? Of course, the mind, they're related, right? The mind and the tongue, they're related. So yeah, when I read this in the Bhagavad Gita, I think it was the Bhagavad Gita, Prabhupada said devotees, they eat to live. In other words, they live to eat. Just like in France, they have parties and they eat a lot, and after they've eaten enough, they go in and there's a vomit room, and they would vomit so they could eat more. Believe it or not, that's called out of control. So unfortunately, we have nice Krishna prasad, but as brahmachari also we shouldn't eat too much. And so we have to associate with those devotees that aren't eating so much. Just like we have our Prabhu here, he has powder. Powder and water. He's the only one that has a belly. What's the powder that you eat?
Sattu powder. Sattu powder.
Sattu powder.
Yeah.
Wow. And that's it, right? Wow. That's us. Yeah. Associate more with him. That'll help you. Yes.
I'll just add for what's kind of been helping me is two things. I think Prabhu mentioned to me eating at a certain time every day. And,
Yeah, don't eat at night.
Yeah.
That's not good.
And then the second thing is every time you eat to pray the prasadam prayers, I've been trying to do that every time I eat anything.
Yeah.
That helps a lot. At least praying to Krishna. And at least saying like I'm eating to try to just satisfy what's needed for my body and for the pleasure of Krishna. That's
Yeah, we don't need to eat much.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, keep the body and soul together. And eating at night, especially, because it's more difficult to digest. So you can't sleep properly. And Krishna says he was regulated in habits of eating, sleeping, mating. Eating, sleeping, recreation can mitigate all the pains of material misery. So we have to be regulated. It's important. Regulation is very important.
And then I had a question about sleeping. I know you mentioned to be regulated on that. So I was trying to sleep earlier, but I'm having problems getting up because I'm just lazy.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, it makes it easier if you don't sleep during the day.
Oh yeah.
If you sleep during the day, you throw out your mat, and you got everything, you got your pillow, you throw out your mat. That means you're going down. That's serious. Now, if you're gonna take a little snooze during the day, just lay your mat out and bring a sheet, and don't make a whole arrangement. Otherwise you're going down, because then it makes it difficult to take rest at night. If you take rest early at night, then you get up. You get a body clock also eventually. If you get regulated, your body your body becomes a clock in itself. It naturally gets up, even without an alarm clock. Quite often, I believe it or not, I get up at 1:30 sometimes without an alarm. I just wake up. It's called a body clock. So if you get into the habit of taking rest early and getting up early with an alarm clock, then eventually you'll be able to your body clock will automatically, even without of course you should always have your alarm clock just in case. Just in case it doesn't work. But yeah, your body clock adjusts according to what you want. So if you want to take rest early, eventually you can take rest early. See, like I get up at 1:30. That means by the time it gets to be like 6:30 or 7 o'clock at night, I've been awake all day long. I could take rest at 7 o'clock because I've been up since 1:30, right? So you get in this groove, the schedule. It's nice. It's the best program I've ever been on. It's fantastic. Just to focus on the mantra, nothing else is happening. It's so nice. There's nothing else. Just jump up. So nice. I recommend if you have an iPad, because Prabhupada said the perfection of chanting japa is when you meditate on the name, form, qualities, and pastimes. So if you're watching like I have this screen, this slideshow of the pastimes of Krishna. So I'm just looking at the form of Krishna during my whole japa, and then also the qualities, because the different pastimes, the qualities come out too. So it's actually so nice. Best program I've ever been on. Highly recommended. Yes, please.
I think Satyanarayana Maharaj has these japa retreats.
Yeah.
I think in one of them, Maharaj was mentioning that all of the Goswamis and especially Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, they could sleep so little because their chanting was so pure that they got rejuvenated and rest from their chanting itself. So they didn't have to exquisitely sleep.
Wow.
And the same for food as well. They ate very little, so little because the chanting.
That was their sustenance.
Yes, it sustained them, yes.
That sustained them. Just good job. You hear that? Good job. Amazing. That's amazing. But that would explain why they're able to sleep so little and eat so little. Their nourishment was from the japa, from Krishna consciousness. Amazing. So there you go. If we get a higher taste from hearing and chanting, then we don't have to do as much sleeping and eating. Very interesting. Very interesting.
I have
Thank you for
also observed where people do a lot of pranayamas and all, like breathing exercises. So they also eat very less and sleep also very less.
Yeah, well, there were these people called breatharians. They were just breathing. I don't know, maybe they were in a place where the air was thick, humid. But they were called breatharians. But I heard that some of them left their bodies, so I think that it wasn't so popular anymore.
Okay, anything online?
Any online?
The lead inside the room.
Okay, thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.
Prabhu ki jai.